strange objects drifting beside the ISS, 5 unknown lights caught by a cosmonaut, and footage they tried to take down the moment something strange appeared. These ISS cameras caught things NASA still won't talk about. A bizarre UFO hovering between Earth and the International Space Station was caught on a live camera feed by NASA in incredible footage that lasts over 22 minutes. The footage was recorded during a NASA live stream of the ISS in February of 2020, when viewers noticed a strange cone-shaped object floating below the station. What made it so unusual was that it seemed to stay in the same spot for over 20 minutes, almost like it was moving along with the ISS as the station traveled around Earth. The object appeared as this bright shape against the darkness of space, and at one point the camera seemed to zoom in on it. That immediately caught people's attention because it looked like NASA's own camera operators had noticed something strange outside the station. The clip was shared online by UFO researcher Scott Waring, who claimed the object didn't match anything he recognized. He pointed out that it didn't look like a normal spacecraft or a piece of equipment attached to the ISS, and questioned why the camera appeared to focus on it. It looks like NASA caught an alien spaceship on video for 22 minutes before it disappears, he said. As the live stream continued, the object seemed to move upward before disappearing from view, with some viewers claiming they could see a flash of light as it vanished. In 2017, an unusually strange video began circulating from the International Space Station's live feed. The footage captures what looks like a long cylinder-shaped object drifting near the station. It slowly fades into view, moves closer, and then portions of it begin to vanish. The person who originally recorded it believed the object wasn't fading naturally, but rather utilizing some type of cloaking mechanism. The clip was also shared again by Scott C. Waring, who operates the UFO Sightings daily blog. Waring said, quote, "I noticed a UFO in the distance that was coming closer and closer to the space station. The UFO was partially cloaked, which made it look transparent. In the deep blackness of space, blending into the environment means you would be safer from other alien species that may not be so friendly." Waring took things even further by bringing up Area 51 whistleblower Bob Lazar, mentioning that Lazar had reviewed classified government files detailing 56 distinct space-faring species. Believers, this offered yet another sign that there is activity in orbit being hidden from the public. On the other hand, Nigel Watson, for example, author of the UFO Investigations Manual, brought up a much more ordinary explanation, saying that the object was probably either a, quote, distant satellite or a piece of space junk that is relatively close to the camera. He also pointed out a flaw in the whole stealth theory, saying that if aliens actually possessed cloaking devices, it wouldn't really make sense for their ships to keep appearing and disappearing. But what do you all think? Back in August of 2020, Russian cosmonaut Ivan Vagner was aboard the ISS, filming a time-lapse of the aurora australis over Antarctica. The footage shows the bright green glow of the aurora spreading across the Earth, but when Wagner watched it back, he noticed something else hiding in the background. For just a few seconds, 5 mysterious objects appear moving across the frame in what looks like a perfect formation. Vagner posted the clip online, asking the internet if they thought they were meteors, satellites, or something stranger. The weird part was that these weren't just a few random flashes caught in a single frame. The ISS camera was taking a photo every second, meaning the objects were actually visible for around 52 seconds as they moved across the sky. Vagner immediately sent the footage to Roscosmos, Russia's space agency, which passed it along to researchers at the Central Research Institute of Machine Building and the Space Research Institute of the Russian Academy of Sciences. Roscosmos publicly acknowledged the footage, calling it, in their words, interesting and at the same time mysterious. But said experts needed more time to figure out what the objects were. Some said they could have been satellites or meteors or something else passing through orbit, but we still haven't got an official explanation. Back in 2016, UFO researcher Scott C. Waring was tuning into NASA's live camera stream from the International Space Station when something out of the ordinary showed up. He caught sight of what he described as a long cylinder object floating alongside and below the space station. Rather than zipping around or flashing like typical camera glitches, this object was traveling at the exact same velocity as the ISS, almost as if it were matching its pace. Waring noted that the object seemed semi-transparent, kept watching in hopes that it would sharpen into focus, but right as it began to do that, the NASA feed suddenly cut typical. The clip he uploaded was brief, only about a minute, but it clearly captures the object moving parallel to the station right up until the screen goes blank. In 2016, viewers following the International Space Station's live camera stream caught sight of something genuinely bizarre. Under normal circumstances, the feed just offers this nice, serene look at Earth, but during one specific broadcast, a dim light appeared far off in the background. It seemed to be plunging toward Earth much like a meteor would, but then out of nowhere it came to a complete halt mid-fall and just hovered there. That's not something a meteor does. Before anyone watching had a chance to process what they were looking at, the live stream was abruptly cut off. Naturally, a lot of people found the sudden interruption pretty suspicious. A YouTuber named StreetCap1, who regularly highlights all the unusual occurrences on space feeds, uploaded the video clip and pointed out the suspicious timing. While it certainly could have been a meteor, it did raise the question of why the feed went blank the exact second the object froze in place. NASA later gave their standard explanations: space trash, camera glares, radiation, noise, a possible passing satellite, but what's your take on this one? This clip from an ISS Live Feed, a live feed that's been removed from YouTube, mind you, was shared to Reddit by a user named Vagner. As you can clearly see, there's a strange object hovering in space. The uploader said it was the second time they spotted the thing and pulled out their phone to record it before the feed cut. Other Redditors made some interesting comments. One deleted user said, "That thing is either really close to the station or it's huge." Someone else commented, "Funny, some people in or near the top were saying they're watching and it's just a smidge." Another user by the name of Timmy_tugboat responded to them, writing, quote, "I try to stay away from conspiracy, but I am absolutely convinced there is a federally funded damage control team whose job it is to post the rational and irrefutable response and upvote itself on social media during stuff like this." Check out this strange piece of footage. This video dates back to 2014. It was taken directly from the International Space Station. It was posted by a YouTube channel called Secure Team 10 under the headline "Giant UFO Approaches International Space Station." In the clip, a round object can be seen steadily drifting toward the station before eventually reversing direction and heading back into space. According to the channel, the video came directly off the ISS Ustream video page by a user who regularly watches the streaming live video for whatever anomalies might show up. The video's accumulated well over 1 million views since being posted, and it's easy to see why it caught on. It looks pretty distinct compared to the usual lens flares or drifting debris that people typically blame these events on, and in the uploader's own words, "It's unfortunate that when such undeniable footage comes to light ever so often, so many refuse to suspend disbelief. You so dearly yearn for the truth to come out, and then in the same breath question the way in which it's provided. This is what the government wants. It's always better when they have to do little work on their own to bring great evidence like this into question. It solves their problem for them. I ask all of you to see the truth when it's in front of you and let your skepticism be the exception, not the rule. Stay safe." Back in February 1996, the Space Shuttle Columbia was deploying the tethered satellite system, which involved a 12-mile cable designed to generate electrical power by interacting with Earth's magnetic field. After deploying more than 19 kilometers of the cable over a 5-hour period, the line suddenly snapped, sending the satellite drifting off into space. NASA's cameras kept right on recording though, and what they ended up catching became one of the most infamous possible UFO videos ever captured in space. The frame quickly fills with dozens of these bright disc-shaped objects floating all around the shuttle and the severed cable. Some of these objects even seem to pass directly behind the tether. When you calculate their size relative to the tether, well, these things seem to be pretty damn big. This last piece of footage isn't quite what it first appears to be. That elongated cigar shape isn't the craft in question. It's an external fuel tank that was jettisoned from the space shuttle Atlantis. This particular clip was captured during a 2006 CNN broadcast showing the space shuttle. Now keep your eyes on the lower right-hand corner of the screen here. Did you catch that? It looks like this glowing triangle-shaped object glides straight across the frame. A YouTuber going by John Shasher re-uploaded the footage, saying that the clip is completely authentic. Came straight from the NASA website. What do you think was recorded on camera that day? As always, share your thoughts down below. And that's been the video. I've been your host, James. I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next one.